Welcome to SpaceClaim's basic training on sheet metal. Today we'll be looking at the basic tools in sheet metal and how to create a model from the ground up. To start off, we need to make some kind of a sketch that represents the initial tab of my sheet metal part. So I'll click the rectangle tool to start. I'll click anywhere on the screen and you see two dimensions showing up. Now, as is with a solid body, if I want to type in values for these dimensions, I can do that. I'll type in 5 to get the length, and to get the width I hit the tab key and I can type in any value I want there. Let's make that a little bit smaller. We'll call it 4 inches, and then I hit the enter key and I'm done. So there's my initial tab. If I want to create an additional tab or an additional section on this, I'm still in a sketch mode and I'm free to do that. I can sketch anywhere on the screen, and as long as it touches the other body, as long as that sketch touches the other body, it makes another section onto the tab. Now, to start making flanges in sheet metal, all you have to do is use the pull tool. Once I click pull, SpaceClaim takes me into a 3D environment. Now, let me show you the different ways to create flanges and the different types of edge behavior. The way to make a flange is to click on an edge and pull straight down or up. Now, which edge you select on is important because it's going to dictate where that flange is located and where the bend is located. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, the default behavior, if I go to the left-hand side on my pull options, is set to use edge location. Now, if I zoom in a little bit closer and start to create that flange again, you'll see that the entire flange is on the outside of that initial edge I selected, but the bend is on the inside. Now, while I'm still doing this movement, I'll hit the escape key. This time, I'll select the bottom edge instead. Now when I pull up, you'll see the entire flange falls within that edge. It's all to the right-hand side of where I selected. If you don't want that default behavior, you can always force the system to make that edge to the inside or the outside, regardless of the edge you select. Or you can have an offset flange where the edge and the bend all fall entirely outside of the edge you selected. So that's the different type of edge behavior when creating a flange. And so I've created one flange right there. If I want to change the height of this, well, I could always grab the end face of that flange and pull up or down. This is one case where the move tool will do the same thing on the flange. That's one flange. What if I want to create multiple ones at the same time? I would select one edge, and then holding down the control key, select the other edge, and then let go of control. Now I'm free to pull up or down, and I'm creating two additional flanges. At any time, while I still have the mouse held down, I can hit the space bar and type in a specific value for the height of where I want those flanges to go. Now let's put in a third flange on the back side. I click the edge, I drag up, but maybe I want that flange to be the exact same height as the other two. There's really two ways to accomplish this. At this point, I could select the very top face of that flange, and then using my up to button on the right hand side where the pull tool guides are, I can select the top face, any edge, or any point of either of those existing flanges that dictate where I want the height to be of that third flange. The second method to do it, let me use the undo button on the quick access toolbar to get back to where there is no flange. I'll grab the edge, click the up to without doing any kind of dynamic pull, and tell it to go right up to any one of those edges or points that are the same height. Next thing we'll do is take a look at how to create a partial flange in SpaceClaim. So going back to the pull tool, once I select an edge, you'll see there's two yellow knobs at the end. If I click and drag on those knobs, I can create a flange that's either bigger or smaller than the width on which the edge is that I've selected. Now again, I can pull either direction and create a new flange. Notice as I've pulled, though, it's not creating a bend. That's because at some point I changed my junction type to no overlap, or a rip. So, two ways to correct this. I could always do an undo, then change the junction type, and then put that flange back in. But maybe you don't want to do that, and you just want to change it right where it is. So after I've clicked on the select tool, I'll click somewhere in the purple and change that to a bend. This concludes Part 1 of Sheet Metal Basics in Space Claim. Please continue by watching Part 2 as well.